Good evening, I'm Tamanna Sharma and you're watching Connect TV. Welcome to this special bulletin. News in India has a simple rule: expect the unexpected and expect it often. Well, let's take a look at the top story of this week. Bihar's politics doesn't just follow trends, it creates them, twists them, and rewrites them overnight. Let's take a closer look at what has just happened. The National Democratic Alliance (NDA) swept the 2025 Bihar Assembly elections, securing 202 out of 243 seats, a commanding mandate that significantly outweighed the Mahagathbandhan's tally of just 35 seats.
भाजपा एनडीए को, इस पांडव दल को बिहार की जनता ने दी है। सबसे पहले तो उनका हृदय से अभिनंदन बिहार के सभी मतदाता भाइयों बहनों का। और बिहार के लोगों ने बता दिया कि बिहार को अब विकास चाहिए, अपने बच्चों को और अपना भविष्य चाहिए। बिहार को अब जंगल राज नहीं चाहिए। आरजेडी और महागठबंधन के लोगों ने, बिहार की जनता ने नकार दी है।
Within the alliance, the Bharatiya Janata Party emerged as the single largest party with 89 seats, while the Janata Dal secured 85. The new government will be headed by Nitish Kumar, who has been sworn in as the Chief Minister for the 10th time, marking a record-setting chapter in Bihar's politics. With Deputy Chief Minister Samrat Chaudhary and Vijay Kumar Sinha, the new cabinet balances the power among its constituent parties, where JDU holds 9 ministerial berths and the BJP 14.
मैं
रमानी साथ ईश्वर की शपथ लेती हूँ कि मैं द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगा। मैं भारत की अखंडता और अखंडता अक्षुण्ण रखूंगी। मैं बिहार राज्य।
Despite the sweeping mandate, several constituencies have witnessed razor-thin victories. What these results suggest is that while the NDA dominates the assembly, Bihar has spoken loudly. But what it truly wants will become clearly only in the months ahead. Now let's turn to the major political developments unfolding across the world. The United States has reopened one of its longest government shutdowns in recent years. But behind the political drama is a far bigger story. So what does this reopening of markets truly mean for the global supply chains and for the Federal Reserve as it prepares for its next move? Shruti will be breaking down the details for us.
The United States government has fully reopened after one of its longest shutdowns. A temporary funding deal has brought agencies back to work, but the economic impact is massive. Billions were lost, important data was delayed, and confidence in the government and economy has taken a hit.
We believe that the shutdown may start costing the U.S. economy up to $15 billion a day.
Our report looks at what the shutdown costs and what it means going forward. The deal passed on November 12th restores government funding until January 30th, 2026. It ends the shutdown for now, but this is only a short-term fix. Agencies are now scrambling to clear weeks' worth of work stalled by the closure. So how did this happen? The shutdown began because lawmakers couldn't agree on spending. Different parties wanted different priorities funded, and this disagreement led to a full stop in government operations, affecting around 7.5 million federal workers. Many workers went without pay. National parks were closed. Security lines at airports got longer. Several social services slowed down or stopped altogether. This was a major disruption for people who rely on these systems.
My daughter has a medication that she's on a daily basis, and I have to consider that, and I have to worry about that too, and how am I going to pay for the appointment and the medication and everything else, and that's not a place a mom likes to be in.
So what is next here? The current funding bill lasts only until January 30, 2026. Hence, lawmakers still need to agree on a full year budget, because if they don't, another shutdown is possible. Economists say that it may take months to fully recover from the backlog and financial impact. The shutdown might have now ended, but its effects will be seen for a while. As agencies catch up with work and the economy adjusts, the lives of federal workers hang in the balance. How they cope, how their salaries are released, And how stability returns to the economic capital of the world remains to be seen.
Staying with the global updates, let's turn our attention to Nepal now, a nation once again grappling with protest and curfews, highlighting the deep-seated political fragility that persists months after a dramatic youth uprising. A fresh curfew has been imposed in the Bara district following the violent clashes, a direct echo of the instability that shook the country just 2 months ago. Gauri will be taking us through these developments.
As we know, a couple months ago, youth led protests has shaped political discoursement in Nepal. The same pressure is felt again. The tension began on Wednesday in Nepal's Bara districts. Activists gathered near the local airport to oppose a planned rally by former Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli's party. Stones were allegedly thrown and people were injured. Crowds gathered and police reportedly used tear gas. Shots were also allegedly fired into the air. Report says 10 people were injured, including 6 police personnel, while 4 Gen Z protesters. A small police post was reportedly set on fire. It was after the escalation that the authorities imposed a curfew in the Bara district. Let's hear what senior Congress leader Salman Khurshid has to say about this.
See, it's not just for anybody in the Congress establishment, but for every person in India, every citizen of India. We have such deep-seated relations with Nepal. Their several generations of their leadership has been educated in India. A lot of them have relatives in India. We have an enormous interest both in the neighbor as indeed as people that we have been very close to. And you know, we have conventionally, we've always, no matter what's happened and the changes that have happened in the Nepalese politics, we've always strongly stood by their democracy. And we believe that that's ultimately what they deserve and what they have a right to ensure. They must take their own democratic decisions, and that's why India is very clear and very supportive of what is required by them. What is happening today is, of course, painful. It's very sad. It's very unfortunate. And we can just pray and hope for the best for them and for the streets to return to peace as quickly as possible. They'll have to find their own solutions. Of course, we know that this is an element of democracy which brings about this kind of breakdown. And that democracy itself brings about the repair and brings about the cure. And I hope that the soonest that it can happen and they can quickly decide what to do and move ahead, I believe would be the best for all of us in the neighborhood and indeed certainly for Nepal itself.
These fresh clashes just came months after a larger Gen Z uprising. In early September, a brief social media ban triggered the youth of the country. It quickly expanded to a revolt against corruption and economic stagnation. Government buildings were torched and at least 76 people were killed. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli resigned and the parliament was dissolved. Former Chief Minister Sushila Karki was appointed as the interim Prime Minister. On Wednesday, she appealed for calm. She appealed to security agencies to act with restraint ahead of elections set for March next year. Gen Zs have proved to be the generation demanding answers.
Moving on, it's time for the latest from the world of champions. After a massive 1.5 billion euro transformation, the doors have finally opened at the Spotify Camp Nou, reclaiming its title as the largest stadium in Europe with an electric atmosphere of this historic homecoming. Here's Nisarg with the full story.
The exile to Montjuic is finally over. After months of anticipation, the doors have opened to the new jewel of Catalonia. The Spotify Camp Nou is officially back in business, and it is colossal. With a staggering capacity of 105,000 fans once it is completed, it now stands undisputed as the largest stadium in all of Europe. This reopening marks the crown jewel of the massive Espai Barca project, a total transformation of the club's facilities with the total reconstruction cost estimated at roughly 1.45 billion euros. But the price tag was the last thing on the fans' mind tonight. The atmosphere was electric as Barcelona decimated Athletic Bilbao 4-0 in their homecoming match. It was a perfect start, but for the man in the dugout, it was something even more personal. Here is manager Hansi Flick on what this moment means to him.
Long time ago, I was here. I was just fired from a third division team, and I said, okay, one day I want to sit on the bench here in Barcelona, and it's like a dream come true. So it's a unbelievable story for me.
Flick is now part of a lineage that makes this ground holy. This isn't just concrete and steel, it is the cathedral of Catalan identity. The turf here has been graced by the gods of the game. From the divine Diego Armando Maradona to the infectious smile of Ronaldinho and of course, Lionel Messi. Speaking of the GOAT, rumors were confirmed that he paid a secret private visit to the stadium just hours before kickoff, avoiding the media entirely. Later, through an Instagram post, Messi confessed that he misses this place with all his soul. But tonight belonged to the Coolers. For the local faithful, seeing the team return home and win in such dominant fashion against Bilbao was an overwhelming experience.
Teníamos muchas ganas de volver, Montjuic nos ha acogido súper bien, pero no es lo mismo y el Camp Nou tiene una magia, sea como sea, y ya la tiene ahora y cuando vuelva con el aforo completo va a ser espectacular seguro.
Pues bastante igual, si te quieres que te diga la verdad. Pensaba que me lo iba a encontrar como muy cambiado, muy diferente. Estoy bastante cerca de donde estaba anteriormente y bastante igual. No tan cambiado como me lo imaginaba, lo digo en el buen sentido.
It was incredible. Just to feel all the fans, everybody together, it was beautiful. It felt quite religious.
The fortress is indeed rebuilt, but a stadium is nothing without its gladiators. Under Hansi Flick, a new era is being forged, driven not just by the crowd but by a golden generation of youth. With the brilliance of Lamine Yamal, the vision of Pedri, and the energy of Fermin, the squad looks rejuvenated. The chemistry is undeniable and the confidence is flowing. Barcelona are finally back in their own theatre of dreams, and if this opening night is any indication, they are destined to achieve greatness once again.
Continuing our sports coverage, we bring you this directly from the 2025 Formula One Drivers' Championship, which is shaping up to be one of the most thrilling finales in recent memory. Let's take a look at how Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, and Oscar Piastri are fighting it out for the victory. The update comes from Arshia.
The 2025 Formula One season is heading into its final stretch, and the Drivers' Championship is tighter than ever. 3 contenders, 2 races to go, and 1 title on the line. Lando Norris leads the standings with 390 points, but his grip on the title was shaken after a dramatic disqualification at the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Both Norris and teammate Oscar Piastri were stripped of their points due to excessive skid block wear, a technical violation that's thrown McLaren's campaign into chaos.
I mean, I'm not worried. It's just disappointing that we're not doing a better job as a team, myself included. So yeah, we've had a great year, and we know that Red Bull have been close the whole season. They introduced us upgrades, Monza, and have been on average a bit quicker than us. The last weekends we've been able to win, but because we performed better as a team. Not because we were necessarily quicker. Today, they performed better and they were quicker. So they dominated the race, So, yeah.
Max Verstappen, meanwhile, seized the moment. He dominated in Vegas, finishing over 20 seconds ahead of Norris before the penalties were announced. That win marked his 69th career victory and brought him at the same level as Piastri at 366 points, just 24 points behind Norris.
It depends a lot on how our car will perform in Qatar and in Abu Dhabi. I think Abu Dhabi is a very good McLaren track, but we'll see. I mean, it's a very, very big gap. It's also not something that will be easily overturned. We need a bit of luck for that, but we can still win races. We'll try, and that's, I think, the goal till the end.
With only Qatar and Abu Dhabi left on the calendar, the championship is wide open. Verstappen's momentum is undeniable. He scored 179 points in the last 8 races compared to Norris's 115 and Piastri's 82. But McLaren still holds the lead, and both drivers are determined to bounce back.
I'm just going to go into the next 2 weeks trying to be as prepared as I can, have the best weekends I can. It'd be nice to get some good results on the board to finish the year, but the championship picture is what it is, so yeah.
It's a three-way showdown with everything at stake. Will Norris hold on? Can Piastri pull off a comeback? Or will Verstappen clinch his fifth straight title? The final laps of 2025 promise high drama, and the motorsport world is watching.
With that, let's shift our focus to the markets now. India's trade deficit has hit a historic high. In October, the gap between what the country imported and exported widened to a record of $41.68 billion, the largest monthly deficit India has ever seen. The number has triggered serious concerns across the financial and policy circles, perhaps a warning for the months ahead. To understand what this really means, here's Shubhadeep with the details.
According to latest trade data, India's merchandise exports fell sharply, dropping by nearly 12% each year to around $34.38 billion. At the same time, imports surged to almost $76 billion, creating the dramatic imbalance. The biggest trigger behind this spike? Gold imports. Gold imports climbed to an all-time high of $14.72 billion in October, driven by heavy festival and wedding season demand across the country. Crude oil imports were also higher, rising to almost $14.8 billion, even though services exports remained strong, generating a surplus of nearly $19.88 billion. It wasn't enough to offset the massive deficit in goods trade. Economists warned that a deficit of this magnitude could pressure on the rupee, widen India's current account deficit, and raise concerns over external sector stability. The data also highlights deeper structural vulnerabilities, from heavy dependency on commodity imports to slowly global demand for Indian exports. India's record trade deficit in October has become a major signal and possibly a warning for the months ahead. Whether this turns into a temporary spike or the beginning of a larger structural challenge will depend on global markets, commodity prices, and policy decisions at home.
Let us now take a look at what is happening closer to home. A major road tragedy continues to stir anger and concerns across Pune. The Navle Bridge in the city's Narhe area, long known for its steep descent and history of fatal crashes, has once again raised serious questions about highway safety and enforcement. Here's Sanika with the latest.
Earlier this month, the Navle Bridge stretch on the Pune-Bengaluru highway witnessed another deadly accident, this time involving a container truck that lost control on the steep downhill slope. 8 people lost their lives and several others were injured as multiple vehicles were crushed and engulfed in flames. 2 weeks later, investigations have intensified, protests have broken out, and the authorities have begun enforcing new safety measures. The incident took place on the 13th of November when a container truck, while approaching the slope, picked up dangerous speed due to a reported gear malfunction. Within moments, its brakes failed, leaving the driver unable to regain control as the vehicle hurtled down the incline. The out-of-control truck then rammed into the traffic ahead, striking multiple vehicles with immense force before colliding with a car and another container truck in front of it. The smaller car, trapped between the two heavy vehicles, was crushed instantly. Its CNG tank began to leak, igniting a sudden fire that rapidly spread across the stretch. Within seconds, flames engulfed several vehicles, resulting in the tragic loss of 8 lives and leaving several others injured. Here's what an eyewitness had to say about the horrifying incident.
व्हिडिओ काढत बसलो तर ते तिथे चिकनवाले होते 2-4 ते लोकांनी आम्हाला मागचा दरवाजा तोडून काढले नाहीतर 90 नाही 95% लोक फक्त व्हिडिओ काढत होते आणि मदतीला कोणी नाही तर ते 3-4 लोक होती तिथे चिकनवाले आणि त्यांच्या शेजारचे ते असे त्या लोकांनी आम्हाला बाहेर काढले.
Amongst those killed in the accident was 37-year-old Swati Navalkar, who was traveling with her parents and her friend's 3-year-old daughter when the tragedy struck. Their innocent families, still grappling with the sudden loss, are now demanding justice and accountability for the lives cut short.
त्या नवले ब्रिजवरती एवढे जे अपघात होतात ना, एवढे मोठे मोठे कंटेनर, त्याला काहीतरी बंदोबस्त करा सगळ्यांनी मग पहिला, कारण की असे किती कुटुंब उद्ध्वस्त होत येणार आहेत अजून.
As the investigation progresses, public anger has reached new heights. Locals claim authorities have ignored warnings about this accident-prone stretch for years now. On 22nd November, residents performed a symbolic Dashkriya Vidhi, or a last rites protest at the accident site, a dramatic demonstration meant to highlight the alleged negligence of the authorities. Protesters warned that if concrete action is not taken within 15 days, they will escalate the agitation and block the highway. Responding to the public pressure, the Pune City Traffic Police has announced that a strict 30 km/h speed limit will be enforced on the Navli Bridge stretch from 25th November. These developments come alongside a major crackdown by the RTO. On the same day, officials penalized over 150 heavy vehicles. Violations range from overspeeding to poor maintenance. Authorities confirm that this enforcement drive will continue across the Pune-Kolhapur and Pune-Satara highways. For now, while authorities investigate, public sentiment remains grim. To many Pune residents, the recurring tragedies on this stretch are not isolated accidents. Instead, symptoms of an ongoing systemic failure.
Up next are the developments from the ongoing investigations from the joint Pune-Madhya Pradesh operation that exposed a hidden illegal arms hub in Umrati village, long known as the village of pistols, where nearly 50 weapons were destroyed and 36 suspects detained. The raid had uncovered a branded weapon part, organized middlemen, and a covert supply chain stretching across the states, revealing how a small village quietly powered a major illegal firearm network. Ananya will be breaking this down further.
Investigations revealed that many of the pistols recovered recently in Pune trace back to Umrati. Police says the weapons were cheap, unlicensed and branded under the name of Umrati Shikilgarh Arms USA to attract buyers.
दोन वेपन्स आपल्याकडे येत आहेत, त्याच्यावर USA असं लिहिलेलं आहे. USA म्हणजे उमरटी शिकलगार आर्म्स हे त्यांचं ब्रँडिंग आहे आणि क्रिमिनल वर्ल्डमध्ये ते भरपूर फेमस आहे. तर याचा वापर करून ते ब्रँडिंग केलं जातं आणि अनेक वेपन्सवर आपल्याला ते दिसून पण येतं.
As per the latest findings, over 700 weapons were sent from Umrati to Maharashtra in past 5 years alone. Police are now matching ballistic evidence to find links with gang crimes, recent shootouts, and extortion incidents in Pune. Here's what Joint Commissioner of Police Ranjan Kumar Sharma reported.
पोलीस स्टेशनचे FIR नंबर 500 ने आपल्याकडे जे आहे पुणे पोलीसचे टीम बळवानीमध्ये गेले आणि त्यांनी उमरटी गावमध्ये रेड केलेले आहे. या ऑपरेशन दरम्यान आपला पुणे पोलीसचे झोन 4 चे DCP सोमय मुंडे यांनी लीड केलेले आहे. त्यांच्यासोबत क्राईम ब्रांचचे लोक, QRTचे लोक, त्यानंतर वायरलेसचे लोक, गॅस गन सेक्शन असा एकूण 105 लोकांची टीम जे आहे ते या उमरटी गावमध्ये गेले आणि त्यांनी आज सकाळी सर्च केलेलं आहे. या सर्च दरम्यान त्यांनी जे हे अग्निशस्त्र बनवण्याचे अड्डे होते ते 50 ध्वस्त केलेले आहे. त्यासोबतच त्यांनी 36 लोकांना आतापर्यंत डिटेन केलेले आहे आणि त्यांची चौकशी चालू आहे. या रेडचे दरम्यान तिथे जे आहे ते अग्निशस्त्र बनवण्याचा बरेच साहित्य पण जप्त करण्यात आलेले आहे आणि अजून हे प्रोसेस जे आहे ते गावामध्ये मध्य प्रदेश पोलीस यांच्या सहकार्याने चालू आहे.
Operation is still underway and more arrests across the Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh are expected as the firearm trail expands.
Now take a look at what's creating a buzz this week. Across India, cafes are quietly reinventing itself. Forget the rush of big chains or loud crowded hangouts. A new kind of space is emerging with a sense of aesthetic that speaks directly to the young people. Micro neighborhood cafes are becoming the newest third places where the youth work and build communities. Sai brings you the full picture.
If you have been cafe hopping lately, you have probably noticed India's cafe scene feels different now. Softer spaces, calmer corners, warm lights, and menus that look more than handcrafted than the commercial. Pune, Bangalore, and other metro cities are leading in the shift. A new kind of cafe culture is taking over Indian cities. Not loud, not flashy, but calm, minimal, and beautifully local. And young people? are choosing these spaces more than ever.
The original thought was in mind to create something different. It's a therapy cafe. What therapy we have meant upon it. So we have played along the soothing colors. It should be distracted from whatever stress he has. So this was our vision. And according to, we have placed some elements into it.
Our space, with its European feel and beautiful earthy decor, is designed to be a calm escape, perfect for Instagram aesthetics, yet wonderfully peaceful, and an atmosphere that offers a refreshing pause for your soul.
In Pune, the movement is already visible. Small neighborhood cafes in Koregaon Park, Viman Nagar, and Kothurud are focusing more on minimal interior, matcha menus, hand-brewed coffee, and peaceful study corners. The idea is simple. Come as you are. Stay as long as you want. These spaces feel personal, almost like your own living room, which is why students, creators, and remote workers are choosing them a lot in number.
According to me, slow cafes are like more cozy, they give a more calm vibe and are also Instagrammable, good for pictures. They also provide co-working spaces, whereas these loud cafes are chaotic and you cannot engage into real conversations.
Experts say the rise in these calm, aesthetic cafes signals something even more deeper. After years of socializing noisy, crowded restaurants, young Indians want slower experiences, places that feel mindful, cozy, and creative. And because these cafes are independent and locally owned, they are bringing neighborhoods back to life, one quiet corner at a time. And at the heart of this trend, there is one simple shift. We are choosing comfort over chaos and connection over noise. These cafes aren't just changing how we drink the coffee or have them sandwiches. They're changing how we study, create, work, and unwind better ideas. Whether you're in Pune, Bangalore, or anywhere in India, the quiet cafe movement shows that sometimes the softer the spaces, bigger the impact.
And finally, we wrap up with the latest from the entertainment industry. It's a somber day for Indian cinema. The industry is mourning the loss of one of its greatest legends, veteran actor Dharmendra, fondly known as Bollywood's He-Man, who has passed away at the age of 89. From action to romance to comic timing, the actor shaped the Hindi cinema in ways very few actors have ever have. Here's Charvi with the full story.
Dharmendra, born Dharam Singh Deol in 1935, entered the film industry in the early 1960s. With more than 300 films to his credit, he stood as one of the most celebrated and respected actors in Indian cinema. From Sholay to Chupke Chupke, Phool Aur Patthar to Mera Gaon Mera Desh, his performances touched the life of millions. His powerful yet warm screen presence made him a favorite across generations.
Have changed, film industry has changed, the attitude, the way of working has changed. So I don't think we'll have another Dharmendra ever. That's not possible.
Even in his later years, Dharmendra remained active. His rare public appearances were always greeted with warmth and admiration. Today, people across the country are mourning not just the loss of a legendary actor, but a man remembered for his gentleness and ever-smiling presence.
Continue to work till the end the way he did. I mean, his film is going to be released posthumously. His last movie, Ikkis. Also, he flirted with politics and he enjoyed himself. And he said, "Baji jeet gaye, magar party haar gayi." Us waqt. And he was also a dormant poet. He wrote in Urdu. He has written innumerable verses. And I told him so many times that Dharam ji, aapko ye publish karwani chahiye. He said, "Nahi, main apne liye likhta." I hope his family puts together his verses and makes a book out of it, just so that we get a complete picture of the man.
The film industry says goodbye. Legacy that Dharmendra created will continue to inspire others.
With that, we conclude this news bulletin. Thank you for staying with us through all the major updates. Stay connected for more. I'm Tamanna Sharma. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon with the top stories.